Hi, welcome to the Get Ready with God podcast. My name is Julie Taylor and I'm your host, and I am not God. Obviously, I'm not an expert. I'm not even a scriptorian. I'm literally just a girl sitting in front of a microphone hoping God is real. The Get Ready with God podcast is the daily devotional podcast to help you see divinity in every day. Today, I saw divinity in the opportunity I had to attend my good friend's dad's funeral. And I think funerals are really special. Hot take, no. The thing I love about funerals, which I guess maybe is a twisted thing to say, but selfishly, I've never been to a funeral where I haven't left with a deep desire to do better in my own life. And I think that's because people come to a funeral and they speak the best about a person. And that is beautiful. It's beautiful. And I love my friend very much. And she gave a very powerful talk about her dad. It was really special to get to be there and to hear her message that was really powerful, and I think left everyone who heard it wanting to be better. I know that's how it affected me. But we sang Be Still My Soul at the funeral, and I've always loved that song. But a new line today stood out to me that I just kind of wanted to share with you guys. Be Still My Soul is an old hymn that crosses many denominations, I believe. And I've always loved the song, I think, because I've had such a tumultuous soul who seeks stillness constantly. But this line that I loved, it's the end of the second verse, and it says, "All now mysterious shall be bright at last." And then it says, "Be still my soul, the waves and winds still know." And I really loved the call out to all mysterious shall be bright at last, because on this podcast, we talk a lot about the darkness that can accompany doubt and questions and the things that we don't understand. And we don't understand why bad things happen. We don't understand why we feel distant from God sometimes. We don't understand why God feels silent sometimes. We don't understand so much of our existence. And that is really challenging. And I think it's also really powerful that faith is inherently not meant to be certain. Faith, by definition, is believing in something that can't be proved. If something can be proven, faith is not required to believe in it or to believe it. And so the uncertainty of faith is what gives us the experience of having faith. And the experience of believing is often much deeper than the experience of knowing. However, living in constant mystery and not knowing is really hard for our human brains. And because it feels uncomfortable, our brains can flag it as wrong, which is, I think, why doubt and wandering get such a bad reputation. That and humans want to control things. But the thought of all mysterious shall be bright at last. The word bright just feels like a beautiful way to articulate the understanding coming and being revealed. And it gives me hope that that understanding will be bright and not dark. So the pain of the mystery and the fear of what could be true will be overcome by light. And I love that thought. And then the next line, you guessed it, we're talking about nature again. But I just loved, "Be still my soul, the waves and winds still know." And I just thought about how nature only answers to one power. Nature is untouched and unfazed by humanity. Humanity is a beautiful thing. It's also a fallen state. And I don't know if nature is fallen. I don't know the theology there, but often when I'm in nature, I just love that it follows its own laws and it's unchangeable and unshakable. And so in this desperation of wandering and in the discomfort of holding so much mystery and wondering, the waves and winds still know. And so if we take our aching souls that want to know so badly, and if we take them to nature, nature still knows. Nature doesn't doubt. Nature doesn't wander. Nature is fixed on universal laws. And so maybe that's one reason why when I feel the most pain about doubts I can't resolve and dissonance I cannot reconcile, I find most peace in nature, because nature still knows. The waves and the winds still know. We have forgotten, but the earth has not. And I want to hold on to that a little tighter. I've shared before that I literally hug trees now, and I'm obsessed with nature even more than I used to be. And I think that's because when I buried my child, I gave him to the earth, and I felt a peace that Mother Earth would hold him. Well, I couldn't. But he's a part of that now. He's a part of this system. Literally, his body is part of the earth. And I would much rather it be here with me. But the reality is that's where he is now. And I find a lot of peace in knowing he's part of this system that still knows. And while I sit in my discomfort of never really knowing, but always choosing to believe, I can take heart and draw confidence and peace in my soul from putting myself in places that still know the things that I have forgotten. And so much of building faith is remembering rather than learning. And I think that stillness is required to remember. Be still, my soul. The waves and winds still know. Love you. Bye.